All right, and thank you, Brent, and thanks to those of you who stick with us here in Austin, where we've got a tie game, 13:25 to go in the first half of what feels like an important game, and particularly because of the power, as the updated standings reflect that West Virginia win, the court storm, the students celebrating Kansas, their first conference loss. Dave Fleming, Miles Simon with you. It's a fun league. Every night, Miles, we see something different in this Big 12 conference, and for Iowa State in particular, coming off a home loss on the road, a chance to, I think, feel like they're right back in that conference.
Yeah, you really do if you're Iowa State, and I know they were kind of score tracking early in the game. Jameel McKay was asking us the score of the West Virginia-Kansas game. But for Iowa State, a team that is expected to contend for the top of the Big 12 with Oklahoma and Kansas. Those are the three teams that had maybe separated themselves in the preseason, but now West Virginia establishing themselves. Remember, West Virginia opened up 2-0 on the road, getting wins at TCU and at Kansas State to start off league play, and now you go serve at home court against the #1 team in the country. It's a grind every night in the Big 12.
And for Shaka Smart and his Longhorns, with a lot of young players, we're going to see some of those guys come in the game now. Isaiah Taylor has led the way, a more experienced player for Texas, already 7 points, and he is one of the better point guards, not just in the Big 12, but anywhere in college hoops.
And he's been playing some tremendous basketball as of late, 22 points per game over his last 5, including 50% from the field. But the thing that Shaka Smart talked to us about today at shoot-around was Isaiah Taylor being connected. And what he meant by that is having great body language, having eye contact with his teammates and the coaching staff at all times. And even though he had a big game at Texas Tech, one that they lost, Shaka said that the Kansas State game was the best that Isaiah Taylor may have been all season long in getting everybody involved, including himself.
So it's a thing to watch here tonight with the Longhorns, who have had a lot of ups and downs. They're playing without Cameron Ridley, one of their best players. He is hurt and out for an undetermined amount of time. For Iowa State, trying to bounce back from that home loss against Baylor, George Niang has been very active offensively in the first few minutes, draws a foul.
Well, there you see some of the versatility of Niang. They start Lambert on him early in the game, takes him out on the perimeter, goes by him a couple times. Now the smaller DeMarcus Holland comes in to give him a look, and Niang drops right into the post and gets a foul.
So still tied at 14. Both teams have shot the ball well so far from the outside.
And Dave, really a guy to keep an eye on for Iowa State now is Deontay Burton. Hasn't gotten a lot of minutes the last 2 games, but when he has gotten solid, consistent minutes, he's been very effective. And this is a team that's only going to play 7 guys. Burton and Cook, the only 2 that will really come off the bench for the Cyclones.
Iowa State's one of the most talented teams in the country, but they're not deep at all. Texas will run waves of athletes, particularly on the perimeter in there. Shaq Claire is in the game for the first time, and he gets a touchdown low, made a nice move.
Shaq Claire really kind of coming into his own, maybe played his best game last game against TCU, had season high in 8 points, 7 rebounds in 23 minutes. There, he's a forced down low. Niang got knocked off balance.
Monte Morris for 3, and when he hits those shots, man, Iowa State is tough to stop.
Monte Morris really improved on the offensive side of the basketball. We know the assist, but he's having to score a little bit more now.
First lead for the Cyclones. Up by a point. Claire gets another touchdown low against Burton. That was better defense. Niang in transition for 3. Good.
And see, that's a tough matchup for Shaquille Claire, because Niang's going to run to the 3-point line. Claire just ran 2 feet inside the 3, but that's not good enough. You have to meet Niang outside of that line.
DeMarcus Holland trying to get his offensive game going. That's a good start for him. He is a talented player, a leader on this team. Just has not been playing well. Lost his grandmother, missed last game at TCU. He was very close to her. Abdul Nader missed the long 2.
See, Coach Prohm talked about that with us today with Nader. He wants Nader to attack the rim a little bit more. He has Claire on him, a quickness advantage and an athleticism advantage, and now the Longhorns make a pay on the other end with the freshman Eric Davis.
Yeah, shots are going down for Texas. Here is Burton, sort of bullies his way closer to the basket. Talented guy.
He is very talented. He can score in bunches. He had a huge game at Oklahoma, 20 points in 19 minutes.
At 3, a little too strong from the freshman Tevin Mack. We saw Eric Davis Jr., one of the Longhorns freshmen, knock down a 3 the possession before. Now Burton open for 3. That one's good.
I love the pass by Monte Morris, the little penetration, but George Niang just rim running right there, actually freed it up for Deonte Burton.
That's a reach-in foul on Morris, and that'll take us to a timeout in Austin. Fun game, Iowa State with a 3-point lead.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Hotels.com, the obvious choice for hotels. And in part by DirecTV. Call 1-800-DIRECTV. And Pizza Hut's new $5 flavor menu. Any 2 or more of your favorites, just $5. Only at Pizza Hut.
A lot of good offense early in this one. Iowa State leads by 3. Dave Fleming, Miles Simon. Miles, take us inside the play for the Cyclones.
Well, this was a great secondary break opportunity for the Cyclones. And you watch Monte Morris, a great penetrator right here. George Niang runs the lane, and then we freeze it right here. Tevin Mack completely loses sight of his man, only focused on the ball. Deonte Burton spaces out to the corner, a little drive and kick action, and Deonte Burton's able to line it up and knock it down from behind the arc.
Iowa State, partially because of that passing, 5 of 6 from 3 so far in this game. Both teams knocking down shots from the outside. Texas, not a great outside shooting team themselves. They're 4 of 7 from 3-point range in this first half.
And that's something that Texas had really struggled with as of late, knocking down 3-point shots, only 25% from behind the arc in their last 4 games.
Mack cuts to the basket with the foul. Counted.
Tevin Mack, they get right inside the zone into the high post area. Tevin Mack, kind of an undersized 4-man, very versatile, can shoot the 3, put the ball on the floor, and you love the no-look pass and the dive to the rim.
Kerwin Roach, who's a freshman, is not a natural point guard. They're trying to get him up to speed at that spot. Made a very good pass. Mack completes the 3-point play, and Texas sets up some pressure.
Burton needs to run the baseline right there. Dangerous inbounding that ball from underneath the basket.
Got away with it. Matt Thomas will bring the ball up, gives Morris, at least for a couple of seconds, a breather.
Small lineup in for the Longhorns right now. Mack at the 4 and Connor Lambert, who usually plays the power forward spot, guarding McKay on the inside. Let's see if they can go to McKay against Lambert.
As part of not having Cam Ridley available, Thomas, I think he was thinking about going to McKay. Alice Cook finds McKay wide open for the finish.
The penetration right now is a problem for the Longhorns. Any Cyclone players getting a foot or 2 in the paint, that's sucking in the defense, causing so much help, and then there's no rotation on the backside.
Eric Davis, one of the young players that Shaka Smart feels like is going to be a real good one here at Texas. He's had his moments in his first year on campus. Felix, much more experience, he can do that.
Felix is having a tremendous senior season. Career high in shooting numbers, 45% from behind the arc. Great catch and shoot right there.
So Texas back in front. Both teams with 5 made threes in the first 10+ minutes. Cook, the transfer from Oregon State, gets it back from Thomas. That was going to be a tough shot. Instead, he found Burton wide open.
Yeah, great job by Cook. The recognition right there, instead of forcing one up, drops it off to Burton for the easy layup.
Lambert passed up the 3. You heard Shaka Smart perhaps in the background bark out some instructions for Eric Davis. He set it back to Roach. Shot clock starting to wind down. Mack was open. That 3 is good.
The spacing for the Longhorns right now is excellent on the offensive end. That was freshman to freshman right there making that play.
And the thing about Tevin Mack, he's shooting 28% from the field on the year, but everybody around this program says he's an excellent shooter. At some point, those shots are going to go down. Thomas being harassed by Davis. That was good defense, tough shot.
Thomas has been playing with so much more confidence. Obviously, he's getting more minutes with the injury to Naz Mitru-Long. But Thomas on the defensive end is much improved over his first 2 years in a Cyclone uniform.
There's Cook for 3, no good. Burton couldn't grab the offensive rebound. Maybe an advantage for the Longhorns, no. Cyclones get back. That last graphic, Texas perimeter players, their guards, 27 of their 31 points. And that's what we expect with no Cam Ridley.
Ridley had been averaging a double-double. There's a good rotation by Hollis Cook to be able to get to the shooter that time. Sacrifice left his guy with a great contest on the 3-point shot.
Monte Morris and Iowa State running some half-court offense here.
Really been a good flow to this game.
Morris left his feet, but he's got that ability even so to find a teammate. Burton missed the three. McKay keeps the ball alive. It goes off of Roach and out of bounds. A timeout here in Austin. Isaiah Taylor is coming back in the game, and when we come back, Isaiah takes Miles on a tour around town. We'll have that right after this.
I'm Miles Simon, and we're here on the town with Isaiah Taylor. We're here at his dorm, the San Jacinto dorms.
I'm really close with my teammates. My teammates live on the same floor as me, so we interact a lot. It's just somewhere where I can get in here with former teammates and just former legends that have came through Texas. KD, TJ, I'm in here with him a lot. A student activity center, you can see 56,000 students at the University of Texas just walking around. Somewhere where I can see my teammates passing through classes. And it's just somewhere where students can just chill and just be themselves. So.
Well, it's good to get to know Isaiah Taylor. Good kid, good player. And I think you're right. He has taken a step forward. He's always been a talented player, but he's having a really nice junior season.
Yeah, and he's really a special young man. The time I got to spend off the court with him, and especially off camera yesterday, was really fun for me. I got to hang out with him at the Nike Basketball Academy this summer, where he competed against George Niang and Buddy Hield and Denzel Valentine, and he was one of the standouts there also. Here's a young man that grew up in the Bay Area until he was 16 years old, spent his last 2 years of high school in the Houston area. Came down here by himself to the Village School. His teammates were Shaq Claire, but really had to do a lot of growing up at a young age.
He made a nice move there, gets himself to the free throw line, and there are games where he lives at the free throw line. Isaiah Taylor will shoot two. He's a guy who has had, I think, a lot of proponents, a lot of folks who have appreciated his game, but a lot of detractors as well his first two seasons.
And you know what's amazing, in talking to him yesterday, he was very lightly recruited out of high school. He told me yesterday that Lehigh was his only offer.
Well, pretty amazing for a guy as talented. Miles Simon, your scouting report on Isaiah Taylor, green, yellow, red, things he does really well, maybe things he needs to improve a little bit.
Yeah, the green is the things that he excels at. He has speed and quickness. He's excellent in the pick and roll. The things that he needs to improve on is in the red. His shooting, you see the percentages. He doesn't shoot a ton of threes. I think the form is there. He has improved on his strength. The new strength and conditioning coach that Shaka Smart brought over has helped him with that. His body is very chiseled. He put on some weight, some more muscle this summer. But I think he's a guy, he thought about putting his name in the NBA draft this summer, or this past spring, came back, and I think it's for the better for his game. And he's enjoying playing for Shaka Smart, has a little bit more freedom on the offensive end, and he's really flourishing.
Both teams shooting the ball well. Only 2 combined turnovers in this game, so taking care of the ball, shooting well. We've had a lot of offense. Not that time for Niang. Here's Roach, the high-flying freshman, who had a nice little hesitation move. That tap back may give the Cyclones a fast break.
Watch for a three here.
Nader, there's what Iowa State and their head coach Steve Prohm are looking for. Nader goes right to the rim.
Coach Prohm was very complimentary of Abdul Nader. He says he's an everyday guy. He shows up at practice, works hard every day, never takes a play off, never takes a practice off, brings it in the weight room, defends multiple positions. He got in better physical condition this year, and that's why he's able to log more minutes.
Came up way short on that first free throw, first attempt for the Cyclones all game long, with 6:22 still to go in the first half. And he started his career in Northern Illinois, finishing his career with Iowa State, made 1 of 2. Both these teams first-year head coaches, established programs, big-time programs. Rick Barnes now at Tennessee, Fred Hoiberg, of course, now in the NBA with the Bulls.
Well, both coaches coming from so-called mid-major programs, and both had so much success at their programs. Obviously, Steve Prohm at Murray State. He was 2-time OVC Coach of the Year, went to the NCAA tournament in 2012, won 104 games there. Shaka Smart, we know what he's done, 163 wins in 6 years. Connor Lambert with the in and out right there, 5 NCAA tourneys and a Final Four for Shaka Smart.
Iowa State ball, chance to get the lead back. It has been a back and forth first half. Monte Morris Hangs in the air once again. Those are dangerous plays. He seems to get away with them most of the time. Nader almost lost it. Finds Morris. So plenty of time to shoot. McKay, that's a good shot for Iowa State.
Morris and Taylor really both excel in the pick and roll. I mean, that was perfect pass there. He come off tight to the pick and roll. He draws the help, gives the quick dish to McKay before the defense can rotate on the backside.
5th assist already for Monte Morris.
How many turnovers?
That'd be 0. It'd be hard-pressed to find 2 guys better in the country at executing that pick and roll play. Felix pushed off. That's an offensive foul. This is what Miles was talking about.
And look at this. He comes tight. Ebay's kind of in no man's land. Has his hands down. That makes him a smaller player. Ebay has a long wingspan. He's very tall and athletic. But if he has his hands down, that's an easy pass to make for a guy as good as Monte Morris.
Felix with 2 fouls. He's the only player really on either side in any kind of foul trouble. Felix goes to the bench. That assist turnover ratio for Monte Morris, what Miles was talking about, 5-to-1 for a guy who plays almost every minute of every game, handles the ball basically on every possession. Cook runs the pick and roll with McKay. Better defense from Texas. Intel there.
You know, the penetration has really hurt the Longhorns. They're getting into, the Cyclones are getting into the middle of the paint, drawing 2 defenders, and then there's no help on the backside. The beautiful bounce pass right there for another easy dunk. They have to rotate again and guard from the inside out.
It's not a real shock as to how Iowa State is shooting 55%. They're getting a lot of looks like that last one. Yancey on the perimeter. Here's Taylor, shot clock winding down, launches the 3, long rebound. Cook tracked it down but saved it in to Texas. Holland wide open. That one way off the mark. But another loose ball. More good hustle from Kendall Yancey.
What a great job by Yancey. Gets the ball. He was outside of the floor, off the floor to save the first one, then hustles back for another long rebound to keep the possession alive.
Been almost 5 minutes since Texas hit a shot from the field. Still only down 3. Mack, the freshman, with the crossover move. Offensive rebound again. Yancey, 3. Good!
Only fitting that Yancey gets the 3-point play after keeping the first 2 balls alive.
Now Holland tracking it down from behind. You can see that one coming. 3-on-1. Holland gives it up. Taylor finishes. And Iowa State wants a timeout. Steve Prohm was not happy. Doug Sermon's coming over to get in between Prohm and Tony Padilla. 3:27 to go in the first half. Texas back in front by 2.
Is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball, and Northwestern Mutual. We help you live life differently.
Well, back here in Austin, a chance to remind you Saturday some good college hoops at noon Eastern on Tobacco Road, NC State, North Carolina, and then at 2 Eastern, Kansas. It'll be a bounce-back game for the Jayhawks. Good for them as they go home to face an improved and getting healthy TCU team. Both games on ESPN, streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
Yeah, I would expect Kansas to bounce back big in that game. And NC State, Cat Barber, not being talked about a lot this year. He's having a great season for Mark Gottfried and that squad. And North Carolina coming off a huge win this past weekend at Syracuse, played really well against that zone defense, especially in the second half. Bryce Johnson has been a stud.
By the way, just a small clarification. Steve Prohm came out on the court as if he was going to call a timeout, but because the whistle blew, there was a delay game warning. Iowa State not charged with a timeout, so it was just the under 4-minute timeout. So no timeout charge for the Cyclones. Down 2, they get the ball back here in Austin. Final 3+ of the first half.
All starters back on the floor for the Cyclones.
And that is a rare turnover. Niang couldn't corral the pass.
And he just threw it a little bit too early. Niang saying it's my fault. He felt he was a little bit off balance. But Morris probably could have got a little bit better angle to deliver that pass in the post.
Yeah, so that will actually count as a turnover for Monte Morris, which does not happen very often. Taylor takes the handoff from eBay. Nice extra pass. Holland attacks baseline. He is so good at that move.
The ball movement and the spacing on that possession by the Longhorns was perfect.
Morris, meanwhile, trying to find McKay. Second straight turnover for him. Maybe a 3-on-2. Yancey. Taylor with the foul.
Well, here's the half-court possession. You see the ball reversal. The rotation is too late on the backside, and the beautiful up and under by DeMarcus Holland. And Yancey plays it perfectly on the break, makes Matt Thomas commit to him, delivers it right to his partner, Isaiah Taylor, for the finish.
Oh, Taylor chance for the three-point play. 9-0 run for the Longhorns, and it's happened fast. Taylor completes that three-point play. Biggest lead for Texas of this first half.
And the pressure has been amped up with the more experienced lineup on the floor for this Longhorn team. When you have Yancey and Holland in there with Taylor and eBay, you have a lot of experience out there for Texas.
A little sloppiness from Iowa State. That's been part of this run. Nader to the bucket, draws the foul from eBay. So that's what they want from Abdul Nader. He'll shoot 2. First foul on Prince eBay. First one's good. NBA Wednesday presented by State Farm on ESPN. Paul George having a great year. He and the Pacers in Boston at 8 Eastern. Then 10:30, it's the Heat and the Clippers. Both games also streaming live on Watch ESPN, that ESPN app.
Clippers been on a hot streak now. Blake Griffin went down with the injury, and the Clippers have been rolling as of late.
Playing well without one of their superstars. It helps when you have more than one superstar.
Yeah, they do have a couple of them. CP3 going to be another all-star type season.
DeAndre Jordan's playing really, really well. Here's DeMarcus Holland matched up against Thomas. eBay had a pretty good look.
But that's on DeMarcus Holland. eBay is not comfortable catching from 8 or 9 feet and trying to make a play and finishing.
Morris took the handoff. Tough shot. eBay altered it. Taylor, that's a quickness mismatch for him. He found his teammate Mack for 3.
Sometimes it's so good to be back at home. Isaiah Taylor with the little hesitation move, gets to the paint, draws the defense, and finds the wide open Tevin Mack in the corner.
So it's a 13-2 run for the Longhorns. Deonte Burton. Nader off the dribble, got knocked down. So that's a foul against Texas, second on eBay.
Well, you look at this move by Isaiah Taylor, the between the legs a couple times, just kind of freezes Nader, the big little hop step, and draws Deonte Burton into the paint, just like the Cyclones had been doing to the Longhorns earlier in the half.
Well, nobody in the bonus. Much different game than the one that preceded us in Morgantown. Not nearly as many whistles. Whistles happen when West Virginia's involved.
Yeah, that press Virginia is something else.
Yeah, they did it to the Jayhawks, that's for sure. Nader from the corner, 3, no good. Under a minute to go. Texas taking their time on this possession. Kendall Yancey, he's been a big part of this first half. That's Mack, a deep 3, another one for the freshman. Coming up on our Land Rover halftime report, they're going to talk about that Kansas-West Virginia game. Kentucky was also challenged. They lost a big lead. At 3, no good. Now Texas can hold for the final look. They may not, though. Mack is feeling it from the corner. And I think that was a mistake for the Longhorns.
Well, I think it was a mistake on both ends. Matt Thomas took a rush 3 when there was no rhythm on the offensive end, and Tevin Mack, and I know that was a heat check because he's made a few this half, but you want to hold for the last shot and go in with more momentum.
Final 5 seconds here. Burton to the basket. Tough shot, no foul. And the horn will sound as that one hit the rim of DeMarcus Holland from a long way out. What a half for the Longhorns. Looking for a big win. And they put 49 on the board against Iowa State. You expect points when the Cyclones are involved. Texas has had a hard time shooting the ball lately, though. They lost to TCU their last game 58-57. At halftime of this one, they've got 49 on the board as they lead the 17th ranked team in the country. Well, Miles Simon getting ready to have a quick chat with the Texas head coach, Shaka Smart.
You guys extended yourself to an 11-point lead here late in the first half. What keyed that run?
Well, I think our guys are playing with aggressiveness. Iowa State's a terrific offensive team, so you can't get bummed out when they hit a tough shot on you. You got to just keep playing. We've been able to get after the ball a little bit when it's loose and go get those and turn them into some points. We're just going to have to do a great job playing defense for 20 minutes in the second half.
You talked to me earlier today about Isaiah Taylor being connected. How do you feel your point guard played in the first half?
Well, he's really run the team, you know, and he hasn't forced the issue. He's gotten guys involved. He's composed in the huddles. That's how we need him to be. He's our leader, and we're going to go as he goes.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Miles and Shaka Smart. Texas has the lead. Now the Land Rover halftime report. Here's Chris Hassel and Jay Williams.
This halftime report is presented by Land Rover. Above and beyond.
Isaiah Taylor and the Longhorns trying to pick up another marquee win. They've already beaten North Carolina this season. Can they beat Iowa State and send the Cyclones to 1-3? They're up 11. This has been the Land Rover halftime report.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball, and State Farm. Find your agent at statefarm.com.
You're watching Super Tuesday presented by Hotels.com. As we are back here in Austin, Texas, the Longhorns playing well against the 17th ranked team of the country. Start of the second half, they lead 49-38. Dave Fleming, Miles Simon back with you. Texas scored 57 in their last game total. Obviously, the offense has been a lot different here tonight. And the run at the end of the first half was really impressive.
Yeah, it really was. The offense has been clicking on all cylinders, and the reason why is the ball movement has been tremendous. You see the ball movement right there, the ball reversal, the up and under by DeMarcus Holland, and then now on the fast break, Yancey gives it up perfectly to Isaiah Taylor as he knocks down the and one opportunity. Then the drive and kick to a red-hot Tevin Mack from the corner. Then Mack extending his range past the NBA line, and the Longhorns get a double-digit lead late in the first half.
Isaiah Taylor, you talked to Shaka Smart about how he played in the first half, and Coach Smart was impressed. Isaiah Taylor played well, and they found good matchups for him. Monte Morris, good one-on-one defender. When he found other matchups, Taylor was very effective.
And that's something that Taylor looks to exploit. He did a great job of, when he saw the switches, he ISO'd himself, got excellent opportunities, and capitalized on them.
Did not turn the ball over. Morris, who always protects the ball, had a couple turnovers late in the first half. Iowa State was a little sloppier with their ball handling. And that helped Texas go on that run that has given the Longhorns this 49-38 lead.
But the thing I want to see right now from Iowa State, this is a team that has championship, Final Four aspirations, Big 12 aspirations to win the title. They have to hold each other accountable on the defensive end. And I haven't seen that, and it hasn't happened in quite a few games.
Morris took it himself and scores.
Now, you like to start right there, but it has to be this end of the floor, and it has to be Niang and Morris and Nader, guys that have been in big games for the Cyclone team, sitting down in a stance, taking pride and say, I'm going to stop my guy one-on-one and not even rely on the help anymore.
First possession of the second half for the Longhorns. Felix for three, in and out. He is their best, most consistent outside shooter. Had a good look. Now Niang wide open three. Lambert, rebound for Texas. Felix went right by Thomas. Missed the shot. McKay for the Cyclones. Thomas, that skip pass got deflected, still got to Niang, but his pass was knocked away, and Texas saves it in.
Good job by eBay, just knocking that ball. Good deflection there, and then they keep it alive and retain possession. A couple good opportunities wasted by the Cyclones to cut into that lead.
Not a Great pass from Felix to Lammert. Shot clock still time. Under 10. Niang kicks, trying to deny that bounce pass.
And see, Dave, what concerns me about Iowa State is we're about 20 to 25 feet away, and it's the arena is not loud. It's fairly quiet right now, and I can't hear one Cyclone player talking on defense. It's very quiet out there on the floor, and on defense is where you have to be most connected to each other, especially in help situations when pick and rolls are coming.
Lammert with the dribble move by Niang to score.
And that's too easy. That's a straight line drive by Connor Lammert, a guy that's not great at putting the basketball on the floor. Niang opens up his stance, and that's an easy lay-in for Lammert.
That's a tough shot for Thomas. He hits it anyway.
Thomas is a guy that's much improved, especially in the rebounding aspect. He was a 2 rebound a game guy over his career, up to 5 this year. Much more confident on the offensive end also.
Cyclones got away with one there. They gave up a wide open look. The 3 didn't go down. Niang will try to return the favor against Lammert. He does.
He's just so smooth. He has all the tools in his bag. The 3-point shot, can put the ball on the floor. He's an excellent passer, having an All-American type season.
He's into double figures now with 10 for Iowa State. Felix hesitation. Thomas blocked it out of bounds.
Well, here's Niang at the top of the key, where he's really great in isolation situations. A little shot fake gets Lammert out of his stance, and then the beautiful drive and the finish.
The lead for Texas is 7. Longhorns have the ball. They'll bring Eric Davis Jr. Holland also off the bench. And they also bring Tevin Mack in. Texas had some success with this smaller lineup. They're going to go small now.
They really did. Their bench gave them tremendous production, especially Mack. He hit 3 3-pointers in the first half, gave him 12 points. See right here, they're just trying to corral Taylor, keep him on one side.
They left Lammert open, hits the 3.
Smart play by Lammert. He spaces out when they're isoing it on one side of the floor. He gets to the slot on the other side. Beautiful pass by Taylor, and Lammert just exuding confidence tonight from behind the arc, something that Shaka Smart continues to preach to Lammert.
He did not make a shot against TCU, and their road loss was 0 for 7. Nader found Thomas in the corner, no good. Taylor down the court, Davis 3. Not that time. Iowa State wants to run. Nader had it knocked away. Cyclones keep the ball.
So here's what I was talking about on the side pick and roll right here. You let this play a little bit, and they get the ball to Taylor. Now the defense jumps on the high side, and here you see Lammert's just going to space out. Can't get to the help side, and then he knocks down the 3-pointer before McKay can get there.
Texas will get Shaq Claire in the game in place of Lammert, who's going to hear it from these Texas fans, because you're right, he is playing a nice game. 8 points, 3 of 6 from the field. He takes a seat. Thomas got Davis flying in the air, then uses the window.
Tough shot. Smart play. The shot fake gets him in the air. Doesn't anticipate the contact, and beautifully laid off the glass there.
Taylor isolated against Morris. This is the matchup where we haven't seen him look for his own shot as much. Davis draws a foul. Second against Niang.
I even like the energy, the bench, the guys that are not on the floor right now for that Longhorn team. They're kind of energizing their guys on the sideline. Even Davis just attacking right there. He got a standing ovation from his partners in white.
And it is a big difference between these two teams. The depth. Texas has shown that tonight. Mack off the bench. Another 3. He was fouled on the 3. That's a mistake by Niang.
Niang having a little conversation with Shaka Smart. He's telling him, I didn't touch him in that case.
Well, I thought there was some contact. Mack will shoot 3 free throws.
Well, here you see the closeout by Niang. Kind of a little bit of a flyby. You can't really tell from that angle if he was touched or not.
The freshman Tevin Mack from Columbia, South Carolina, originally committed to Shaka Smart at VCU, and now here he is in Austin.
And Shaka Smart is very high on this freshman class. Curran Roach, a special athlete. Eric Davis Jr., really an overall highly talented basketball player, Tevin Mack, an energy guy. Shaka Smart said, he says, I love these guys, but he says, but these freshmen, they must be more consistent in everything that they do every day. And that's not just basketball stuff, it's just life, going to class, the weight room.
All of it. Mack made 2 of 3. Niang with the 3 fouls on the bench. Texas back up by 10.
McKay should face up and try to go.
He's trying to go. Missed the shot badly, though. Taylor quickly to Holland in the open court. That was a dangerous pass. Now Taylor will see if he goes against Thomas. I think he likes this matchup.
Yeah, Thomas is a good defender, though.
Davis for 3. And Texas has its biggest lead.
And almost because Taylor was drawing so much attention in an ISO situation, they lose track of Eric Davis Jr., and he makes him pay.
How about the Longhorns having made 11 from outside? And that's another Iowa State mistake.
Well, the Longhorns, who have been struggling from behind the arc the last few games, Monte Morris late on the closeout, and Eric Davis makes a pay and a little bit of 3-goggle action.
Wolves Thunder.
Well, as we take a look at our Wendy's Wooden Award watch, and remember back to 2007, the Wendy's Wooden Award winner Kevin Durant, one of the all-time greats in the history of Texas basketball. His 1 year on campus, led the Big 12 in scoring, in rebounding, first freshman to win the Wooden Award, second most points scored by a freshman in Division I history, and yeah, number 35 hangs from the rafters here in Austin. I think Kevin Durant will be proud with the way his team has played. Deonte Burton had a great look and gets his own miss, scores on the second chance.
Burton's really brought him a nice spark off the bench tonight. That's now 9 points in about 11 minutes of play. He's been tremendously active on both ends of the floor, doing a nice job.
He has been basically their bench scoring. Davis by the shot blocker McKay. Rebound Nader. Burton trailing. We've seen him hit a 3 in this game. That time he attacks and draws the foul from Shaq Claire.
And I like that. He is best when he's being aggressive and getting to the basket there the last 2 possessions.
So Deonte Burton will shoot free throws when we come back to Austin. Another timeout. Longhorns lead by 11.
Pizza and wings?
You're watching Super Tuesday, presented by Hotels.com. Beautiful scene in downtown Austin, Texas. Longhorns leading 59-48 over the 17th ranked Cyclones of Iowa State. Well, one team that Texas has already beaten this year, North Carolina, top 5 team, the Tar Heels, and NC State, noon Eastern on Saturday. And then the number 1 team in the country, for how long, we don't know. They fall tonight in Morgantown. They take on TCU at 2 Eastern. Those games also streaming live on the ESPN app as Deonte Burton. It's the first of 2 free throws. Cyclones miss that guy, don't they, Miles?
Yeah, they really do. Naz Mitru Long is really the heart and soul of this team. The guys look up to him. He's a tremendously positive individual. He's probably the most vocal guy on this team. And I was able to talk to him before tip-off tonight, and he just says how much it's hurting him on the inside, seeing his team struggle, that he can't be out there with his guys trying to help them because of the bad hip situation and that he's having to sit out redshirt this year. But he really is an important piece. His 3-point shooting is missing, obviously, for the depth factor of this Cyclone team.
Well, they could use some depth tonight because Texas's depth has won the night so far. Davis, good hustle play, followed his own miss, and got the second chance bucket for the Longhorns, who are back up by 11. Abdul Nader. Burton on the baseline, a little hesitation, missed the jumper, but a foul against Iowa State. That's against Nader.
You know, you just feel with Iowa State, they put up so many points per game in the last few years. They're averaging 85 this year. But I almost feel that they almost get too reliant on the fact that they can score the basketball. So on the nights that you're struggling and not hitting shots and things are having to be, things are a little bit tougher on the offensive end, can you hang your hat on the defensive end on a consistent basis? And the Cyclones have not been able to prove that on a consistent basis this year so far.
That was a great play by Taylor. Found Davis, who draws the foul. Good hustle on defense from Isaiah Taylor, who has been everywhere. The stats aren't gaudy for Isaiah Taylor, but he's playing a really nice game. So he created for his freshman teammate. Now goes over to talk to his head coach. Chance for Texas at the line to pad their lead.
You see this young man, Eric Davis Jr. at the line. He's very smart. He's a vocal guy, always talking, super confident. And so he had committed to the previous staff, to Rick Barnes, and signed here to be a Longhorn. And then when Shaka Smart got the job, as all new head coaches do, they go do their due diligence and visit the recruits that obviously they want to keep. Eric Davis was a priority, and so he flew up to Saginaw, Michigan, spent a couple days up there with Davis and his family. And he told Eric Davis to open up his recruitment and take your time. He goes, I want to build a relationship with you first. And so, but in that 2-day span, as Shaka Smart was driving to the airport and leaving to head back to Austin, Eric Davis Jr. called him, said, I feel good about you, Coach. My parents love you. I will be in Austin on June 1st, and he hasn't looked back since.
The Cyclones down 13. Niang drives, misses. Got his own miss and scores. Nice persistent play from George Niang. Finally, Iowa State getting a couple second chance buckets, but I think, as Miles has been saying, things have to start for them on this end of the floor.
Small lineup in for both teams.
They force a turnover.
But see, on some of these turnovers, Iowa State needs to get out and run. They force a turnover, and they're playing in the half court.
Yeah, they are used to getting out and running and pushing and getting transition buckets. They just haven't gotten many of those tonight.
No, and that was a high priority for Shaka Smart in practice yesterday and shoot around today. Take away transition of the Cyclones.
Not many turnovers on either side, and that's part of it. Texas not turning the ball over. So that's part of why those numbers are as they are. 23 plus a game in transition tonight. They've got 2 baskets on the break. Thomas switched to the left hand.
Beautiful drive. When the jumper's been taken away from Thomas tonight, he's done a great job of showing the ball, pump faking, and getting a step on his defender.
Lead down to 9 for the Longhorns. Davis stepped into a tough 2. Got the friendly roll.
Same thing, same roll that George Niang got in the first half. Some of the softest rims in the Big 12 are here at Texas.
Thomas, a deep 3. It's good.
What a shot by Thomas. Having a huge second half for Iowa State.
And off that made 3, his head coach wanted a timeout and gets the timeout. So we'll step aside ourselves and be back right after this.
With a studio update, number 1 has already gone down, number 8 has gone down, and number 3 is losing in the second half over on ESPN. Derek Walton with the 3, and Michigan is up 5, Dave and Miles.
Wow, so thank you, Chris. That would be big news. And I think in the Big 12, this would be big news. Not as big of a story as Kansas losing in Morgantown, but Iowa State, they're 1-2 in conference play. They got championship aspirations. They lose this game 1-3. That's a pretty big hole.
Yeah, for Iowa State, the fact that they feel they gave one away at home against Baylor. Now Baylor gave them all they could handle and made a run late in that game to get that lead. But you almost, when you're chasing Kansas and want to win this Big 12 championship, you can't lose those games at home.
Extra pass. Davis way too strong on the 3 from the corner. So Iowa State's starting to get a few stops on the defensive end. Niang calling for the ball on the offensive side. Went right to the basket.
He had the same move in the first half on the left side of the floor where he does a little rip through to the baseline. And I like the fact that he jump stops. That gives you much more control when you go up to shoot the basketball.
Well, still a long way to go in this one. But a little 9-2 run for the Cyclones.
And a lot of it has happened when they went to this small lineup. It gives them a little bit of versatility on the defensive end. You see they're able to switch Burton, and I know Felix made him pay right there. But they're able to switch Burton and Niang onto some of the guards for the Longhorns.
Morris with Taylor right on top of him. Morris. That was help defense from Texas, and Yancey saved it in bounds. Taylor grabs a loose ball. Felix had a chance to pull the trigger on a three, didn't do it. Spin move, Javon Felix, 2 good moves in a row.
Javon Felix put in a lot of work this summer. Coach David Cason challenged him to a 30,000 make challenge as Georges Niang gets to the other side of the rim in an over 9-week period. Now, he didn't get all 30,000 makes, but you can tell he put the work in and the time in the gym, and it's shown in his numbers in his senior year. Best field goal percentage, shooting numbers, and three-point numbers of his career.
25,000? Did he get that many?
He might have. And whatever it was, it was a lot.
That's a lot of makes. Yancey to the corner. Davis off the dribble, got cut off there, but scores anyway.
You can see why Shaka Smart and the Longhorn staff is so high on Eric Davis. Just a versatile guard, doesn't lack for confidence at all. Good defender. You see, very capable scorer.
Great look, and then Yancey went up to challenge Burton, who was trying to dunk it home. He got whistled for the foul, but Texas fans, I think, still happy with the defensive effort.
And I like the fact that Yancey, he went and helped and recovered all ball up top. Now, if they call that with the body, I mean, that was clean by Yancey up top. He didn't touch anything but the ball. But I like that Yancey didn't just surrender and give up on the play. Those are extra effort plays that Shaka Smart preaches every day.
Well, the Texas fans just saw that play on the big video monitor, so they're not happy with the whistle. Clearly, if there was a foul, it was not up top, as you said. Burton misses the first free throw.
And I do think this is a positive sign. The play of Burton tonight, he's getting more minutes. He got 7 minutes versus Baylor. He had only scored 2 total points in the last 2 games. But tonight really established himself on the offensive end, giving him a spark off the bench.
Made that second one, and they need anything off the bench. I mean, there may not be a team with less depth that's a really good team in the country.
And this is it. They're only going to play 7 unless somebody else gets hurt. It's pretty much 7 guys every game. He's had to tailor down his practices. You know, they only can go about an hour. They don't go as much full court as Felix gets in the lane. That's just too easy.
And part of the problem going with the small lineup, which, as you said, has been effective in a way for the Cyclones. No Jameel McKay. That shot blocking presence is gone.
But even that, it's just taking pride in guarding your guy and not letting him get to the paint. Moving your feet laterally and just saying, I'm going to put my chest in front of you and you're going to have to try to beat me one-on-one, man-to-man.
We still got 9+ minutes to go. Both teams shooting over 50%. A high-scoring Big 12 game. Felix, another spin. This time he lost the ball out of bounds. That's a turnover. Okay, there comes the shot blocker back in along with Nader. Burton and Thomas go to the bench for the Cyclones.
Here you see the press for the first time in the second half.
We saw so much press from Shaka Smart's VCU teams. Ultimately here at Texas, if the roster changes over time, are we going to see more of that with the Longhorns?
Yeah, you'll see the havoc back in effect. And I think he's still trying to implement it, and he doesn't have his guys. And that's a bad jump pass there by Morris.
3-on-2. Holland missed the dunk. Went up to flush it home. Now eBay, they're going to call that an over and back. He touched it in the front court, knocked it into the back court.
And the roof was about to come off this place if Holland had made that dunk.
He is a high flyer, just didn't quite finish. Felix, something a little tight as he goes to the bench, not feeling 100%. Niang got fouled. Well, good offense, and it hasn't been a physical game either, so we haven't had a lot of whistles.
Well, I think it's been good offense in the fact that they've made shots, but the defense by both teams, I don't think when the coaches watch the film tonight or tomorrow, they're not necessarily going to be overly pleased with how their teams are defending.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Nader against Holland. That's another tough shot.
You don't need it. You don't have to force the action right there. It's a 9-point game. Continue to move the basketball, make the defense shift, and now you give up a little hesitation. The quickness and the speed of Isaiah Taylor and his change of pace, one of the best in the country.
Very, very few others can do it quite like that. Morris, nice touch off the rim. Lead is still 9. Mack wide open. Too strong. And here come the Cyclones trying to get a rare transition bucket. Does that count? Yeah, I think it does.
It does. That was a secondary transition. That was excellent patience by Monte Morris. Finds Niang underneath the hoop in the arm, and they'll try to cut it to 6 when we come back.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Hotels.com, the obvious choice for hotels, and in part by Volkswagen.
There's got to be a way. Chris Hassel in the studio. Earlier tonight, right here on ESPN2, West Virginia took down #1 Kansas. Of course, a lot of you folks know about that. That's why you had to bust out the ESPN app to watch the first 10 minutes of the Iowa State-Texas game. Guys, both of these teams still control their own destiny in conference.
All right, Chris, thanks. And notice a theme in the Big 12. We got the all West Virginia look going because the Mountaineers are the talk of the conference at the moment. They beat #1 Kansas tonight, their first win against the #1 ranked team in a long, long time. They play #2 Oklahoma on Saturday on ESPN2. First team to play #1, #2 in consecutive regular season games in almost 20 years. It's been a long, long time. What a week.
Boy, in West Virginia, they are fun to watch. That press Virginia, they're a physical team. They get after you. You lose a guy like Jawan Staten, but they've replaced him with Daxter Miles Jr. and Javon Carter. Those guys have been tremendous. And Devin Williams is a post guy that not enough people know about. He's been tremendous the last couple of years for Bob Huggins.
And can you imagine, Miles, you and I will be there in Norman this weekend to watch that one. Sooners and the Mountaineers not just playing #1 and #2 consecutively. If they beat #1 and #2 in back-to-back games in the same week, they've gotten the first part out of the way. They have a chance to do it.
So if you win both of those games, do you deserve to be #1 in the nation?
That's a pretty good argument, isn't it?
Why not? You just beat the 2 best.
#2 would come
one
away
would
from
be
home.
on the road.
Yeah. That pass was almost a turnover. Texas's lead is down to 6, so the Cyclones have been chipping away.
I feel like this is a very important defensive possession for the Cyclones because they're on a little bit of a run. Don't want to give up anything easy here.
Taylor matched up with Cook. eBay came out for a screen and roll. Taylor didn't use it, just went by anyway, but missed the layup. Here's Iowa State. McKay runs the court about as well as any big man. Didn't get the shot off. Instead found Morris. Rebound goes to Morris. Monte Morris reverse layup.
I love the fact that Jameel McKay, when he caught that basketball, he was off balance, too far underneath the hoop, didn't have the shot, and kicked it out.
Texas is led by as many as 13. A 7-0 run has it down to 4 with under 7 to go. Mack 3. No good. Niang rebound. Well, some of those long distance shots now not going down for the Longhorns. They have made 11 threes. There's a whistle and a foul against Taylor in the low post.
Here's the possession before when McKay, he's underneath the basket, he kicks it out, and then he works on the offside right there. He keeps his hand on that basketball to keep it alive for more. So 2 heads-up plays back-to-back by Jameel McKay.
Has not had a great game, only a couple of rebounds, 10 points.
But you know what, he works. He doesn't let the offensive part of it really affect him. Still guards, rebounds, he really defends the rim on the other end.
Always important for the Cyclones. Jameel McKay. Nader against Felix. He's got a big-time size advantage, and he uses it.
He really did. He got the back down, and then the right shoulder spin. Big-time shot by Nader.
Lead down to 2. Felix runner way too strong. Texas gets a break, though. That rebound tapped out to the Longhorns.
And I don't think the shot hit the rim, but they reset the shot clock. The officials caught it right away.
Yeah, that's good stoppage by the officials. So they're going to talk about things while Shaka Smart talks to his team. Takes a timeout. We'll step aside ourselves. This one's gotten close. Longhorns lead by 2.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, Saturday, NC State, North Carolina gets it started noon Eastern on ESPN, and then TCU and #1 Kansas looking for a bounce-back win at home against the Horned Frogs on ESPN. Also live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. So the ACC, the Big 12, great day of college hoops. Starting on Tobacco Road with Carolina and NC State. This one has gotten very interesting. Dave Fleming, Miles Simon. It was a 13-point lead for the Longhorns about 5 minutes into the second half. That lead is down to 2.
Let's remember in the Big 12 tournament last year, Iowa State made a huge run towards the end of that game, and Monte Morris hit a game winner.
Connor Lambert lost the ball, got it back. Ebay with the follow dunk.
Ebay is able to get that play because Jameel McKay went over to affect Connor Lambert's shot. No rotation on the backside by the Cyclones for a block out on Ebay.
Yeah, Iowa State has come from behind this year. That famous game in the Big 12 tournament last year that you were just referencing between these two teams with the dramatic finish. Niang spin, Lambert fell down.
He's just so smooth though. Niang had drove baseline twice tonight against Lambert. That time sets him up. Lambert cuts him off. The spin back, the slip by Lambert, and then the jump hook.
Well, Taylor hits the long 2. I think the Cyclones will live with that shot, but Isaiah Taylor's making it from the outside. He has played a heck of a game.
Zone defense by the Longhorns. Got to watch for Niang in this situation.
Morris, runner, got pushed with the foul. Count the basket.
That's really Monte Morris's go-to shot. The quick one dribble. Felix with the hand on the hip. Morris gets it up on the rim and gets the soft roll like we see many other players do tonight.
Well, Morris may have the quickness advantage anyway in that matchup, but we saw Javon Felix a few minutes ago on the sideline getting stretched out like he wasn't feeling 100%. If he's not 100%, that's really a mismatch in favor of Iowa State. No three-point play, though. Free throw miss, so Texas's lead is still 2.
Now, the hardest thing when you're playing from behind, as they have this whole second half, is trying to get over the top. And get over the top means trying to get the lead.
Felix, help from McKay, rebound Morris.
And then McKay got help on the block out against Ebay that time.
Nader, no whistle. Taylor hit the floor. Here's Cook with the bounce pass. I don't think that was intended for Nader, but it works.
And I think Ebay got a piece of that ball and helped tip it in.
Tie game, 79 apiece. Abdul Nader, a double-double. He's got 14 rebounds to go along with the 10 points. Career-high rebounds for Nader, so he's played well. Taylor back to Lambert, who couldn't quite catch it cleanly. Now picks up his dribble with the shot clock winding down. Taylor pull-up 3. It's good.
That's just a heck of a one-on-one play by a great player in Taylor.
Well, they left Nader wide open. No answer for the Cyclones. Loose ball. Davis has it. Niang switches off on Taylor, who gave it up. Lambert 3. Another one. Iowa State will call the timeout. Well, Iowa Iowa State had tied it up, but back-to-back threes from the Longhorns. Big shots.
And it's by their catalyst. Isaiah Taylor kind of rocks him to sleep, gets him on his heels, and then sucks in the defense the second time, and Connor Lambert and the bench going nuts.
ESPN after Maryland and Michigan. Stick around for SportsCenter at night with Jay Harris and Lisa Kearney. Highlights from a great night of college hoops, the NHL, NBA. SportsCenter at night after Maryland, Michigan on ESPN. Streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Big game on both sides of both coaches. Final 2.5 minutes. But after the back-to-back threes, Iowa State with a lot of urgency. Niang out of the timeout. Took it to the basket and draws the foul.
And I like the ATO, the after timeout play by Coach Steve Prohm there. You want to get the ball in your best playmaker's hands, and that's George Niang in this case for the Cyclones. They ISO him up top. He gets the switch onto Prince Ibeh, drives him right at the hoop, and draws the foul.
Niang has become over his career a better free throw shooter. That's a big one. Iowa State needs every point they can get now. Holland out, Felix in. 21 for George Niang. And that first free throw made it 22. That's now 23 for the Cyclone star. 4-point lead for Texas with the ball.
This is the switch that they want.
Taylor, crossover, jumper, too strong. Rebound goes out of bounds off of Texas.
And that was the best job that they've done all night on those little switches, getting Niang, and they made Taylor settle for the jumper. He just didn't connect. It was straight on target.
Every possession huge now on both sides, particularly for Iowa State. Niang got knocked down.
Same play. He wants it back.
Set the screen for Morris. Runner is good.
What a hesitation and go. And I like that Niang didn't try to force the action after he slipped against Ibeh.
So 4 straight for the Cyclones after that last timeout. The lead is 2 for Texas. Lambert hands off to Felix. Shot clock at 10. Javon Felix trying to go by. Finds Taylor. Tough shot. Air ball. Rebound. And nobody grabbed it before the shot clock goes off. It's Iowa State basketball.
And that's a great defensive possession by the Cyclones. They were engaged. They were dialed in. They took away the first and second options. Forced a tough shot and a shot clock violation. But that's if you're Steve Prohm. You show that possession. And that's what they should be doing in the first half. And that's why they fall behind, because they are not connected all the time and putting that type of effort in.
A chance to tie or go ahead. And they'll get that matchup. Niang on Ibeh. Turns around and ties the game.
Niang just has no fear about who's guarding him. The bigger, more athletic Ibeh went right to the rim, and the sweet jump hook. 6 straight points by the Cyclones.
Another timeout for Shaka Smart with 1:01 to go.
Well, look at this. You ISO your 6'8" power forward against the 6'10" center, who's much more athletic, but he drives him off, gets a little shoulder and hip into him to create the separation. And I love how fundamentally sound he is. The pivot and the jump hook from 8 feet, not easy by any means.
No timeouts left for Iowa State. 1 remaining for the Longhorns. Texas has committed 8 fouls, so the Cyclones are in the bonus. The 2 guys we spotlighted right at the start, both have played really well.
They've treated us to a tremendous basketball game. Isaiah Taylor has been awesome tonight with the way he's controlled the pace and the tempo of the game and getting his guys involved. And then George Niang coming through in crunch time here, keeping the Cyclones in this basketball game.
Well, one thing we know, Miles, and we referenced it a minute ago, these 2 teams, no strangers to drama. Iowa State in Kansas City, Big 12 tournament. This was the final few seconds. Monte Morris, literally at the buzzer, wins it for the Cyclones. Iowa State scored the last 12. They were down 10 with just a few minutes remaining, and they came from behind to win that game. They would go on to win the Big 12 tournament. A tremendous game between these 2. And here we are now. The next season, the next matchup, another highly entertaining game.
And it's a lot of the same faces in this game tonight that were there back in March in Kansas City.
2 new coaches. Coaches are new on both sides, but Isaiah Taylor and the Longhorns trying to make a different result for Shaka Smart's Texas team here in this season. Steve Prohm knowing that this is a huge game. Cyclones believe they are contenders in the Big 12 already with 2 conference losses. This would be number 3.
And Texas goes small. They get eBay out of the game. They bring in Tevin Mack, who was knocking down threes in the first half.
Under a minute to go. 85-85.
Watch Taylor coming to get the ball on the left side of the floor.
He gets it, matched up against Morris. Uses the screen, gives it up though. Davis right back to Taylor. Shot clock at 6 against McKay, who cut him off beautifully, but he steps through and he scores with the left hand.
What a move by Isaiah Taylor. Jameel McKay did everything that he was supposed to do on the defensive end. Locked him up, had nowhere to go. The pivot, the step through, and the little sweet finger roll and the soft touch by Isaiah Taylor.
A tremendous play by Taylor. Puts Texas back ahead by 2 with 37.1 seconds to go. Nobody's got a timeout left. Now those fouls, I mean, that is important because Iowa State would shoot free throws if Texas commits a foul here. Cyclones have the ball, 37.1 seconds left.
So right now, if you're Steve Prohm, I think you got to go back to your go-to guy, George Niang. When you get him in an isolation situation, eBay back on the floor for defensive purposes, rebounding and blocking shots. But Niang has attacked him the last time he's had the 2 ISOs and scored.
Well, we'll see how quickly the Cyclones go.
You want to get the best shot possible. You're not looking 2 for 1 in this situation.
Niang against eBay. They go right back at it. Niang scores.
How did he spin that basketball in? Amazing shot by George Niang.
Against one of the better shot blockers in the country. So it's tied again. Shot clock is off. And Taylor and the Longhorns are going to hold for the final look.
I like Taylor going one-on-one and creating. Don't bring the ball screen.
Taylor against Thomas. Taylor, no whistle. Rebound Cyclones. Morris with the heave. Almost went. Almost went. And Shaka Smart cannot believe that there wasn't a foul call. And I thought there was a lot of contact. Well, let's see if we can see.
Well, here's the drive. He's going to his right. And Abdul Nader, from that angle, looks like he grabs Isaiah Taylor across the arm. Isaiah Taylor was not able to elevate and get into a shooting motion.
Now, I guess in theory it's possible that he had his hand on the ball, but I don't think so. Let's see if we can see how much contact there was from number 2 reaching from behind. Yeah, he grabbed him on the arm.
That's a foul.
That is a foul.
Isaiah Taylor should have been going to the line to try to win the basketball game.
Iowa State gets away with one big time, and we're going to overtime. 87-87. Texas led by as many as 13 in the second half. So without the buzzer beater, it is a similar kind of game to the one we saw in Kansas City in the Big 12 tournament last year, in that Texas really has controlled this game most of the way. Now we'll see if Iowa State, without as much depth as the Longhorns, if they've got enough to finish here in overtime.
Well, I was talking about it during regulation when the Cyclones were trying to make that run about getting over the top. I feel it's important in this first minute or minute and a half for Iowa State to get the lead in this basketball game. That will give them only more confidence because I feel they have the momentum going into this overtime.
Well, you saw the leaders scoring, rebounding, assists. George Niang, 27 points, 19 of them since halftime. Nader with the rebounding, and he got away with no foul call. And look at the time with lead. Texas has led for more than 30 minutes of this one. 13 made threes for the Longhorns with those 19 second half points, and they went to Niang over and over again down the stretch as they came from behind.
And it'll be interesting to see if Shaka Smart makes some type of adjustment defensively now, because if you're Steve Prohm, you continue to go to that same play, that isolation play, until they stop George Niang.
McKay and eBay, and Texas controls the tap. Longhorns have the ball first in overtime. Felix by Nader to the basket. Nice left-hand finish.
He's done that 4 or 5 times tonight. Anytime a defensive player opens up his stance, you have to be able to just move laterally and take that guy off the straight line drive. And here's the isolation play.
Well, it's working. Why go away from it? Niang, another tough shot. He missed this one.
eBay did a good job of moving his feet and getting his hand up.
Lammert back to Isaiah Taylor. Here's the freshman Davis. Shot clock under 5. Davis had it knocked away, but it went to Felix. Came up short. That's a live ball, and nobody grabbed it for Iowa State. Felix gets it back. Now he's trapped along the baseline. Almost lost it, but finds Taylor with the left hand.
State is going to look back on that as a missed opportunity. No one tracked down that basketball. Maybe they thought they were going to get a shot clock violation, and it ends up being an Isaiah Taylor layup.
Cost him 2 points. Morris to Niang. Niang lost it. Turnover.
And you wonder if fatigue can play a factor right now for the Cyclones. This group of 5, the starters have logged heavy minutes tonight once again.
You see those bench points, most of the 14 for Iowa State from Burton, and we haven't seen him on the floor in a while. 3 minutes to go in overtime. Texas back up by 4. Again, the shot clock is winding down. Felix challenge. This time Cyclones do come up with a loose ball. Niang leads the break. He got fouled. That's a whistle on the foul against the Longhorns. Iowa State in the bonus. That means free throws coming. Still not double bonus. Texas, for their part, they're not even in the bonus yet. We're in overtime. Front end. Too strong, no good. And Lammert tracks down the long rebound.
And Niang frustrated with himself, missing that free throw.
The lead is still 4 for Texas. We've seen a lot of this down the stretch. Taylor uses that screen. Lammert 3 off the iron. He knew he missed it.
Cyclones got to get a score here. Try to get something going to the rim or kick out 3.
That's to the rim for Morris. What a shot.
Nice job of turning that corner, coming tight off that drag ball screen.
Well, even with the depth of Texas, their top line players have played a lot of minutes, and you can see some of them huffing and puffing out on the court. That step-through move for Isaiah Taylor.
Don't force it right here if you're Nader.
Well, I think he did force it. Missed the shot, rebound out of bounds off of eBay.
There was no numbers there, no opportunity for Nader. And here you see Niang has to stay. He has to stay, but he's worried about Lammert because he's made threes tonight. He can't leave his guy until Monte Morris is back in front of Taylor.
What a night for Isaiah Taylor. For that player as well, Niang trying to get open. McKay does get open with the finish. A minute and a half to go. 2-point lead for the Longhorns.
Steve Prohm barking out right now. Switch 1 through 4. Everybody on the floor will switch except for Jameel McKay.
Here's Holland.
There you
saw
see
that switch. Yeah, Niang switches to Holland. Foul. McKay came over for the block, but the whistle came before that.
And if you're Holland, that's what you're supposed to do. You get the big guy on you, you try to drive him and get to the rim and draw the foul.
And that is the 4th foul against Niang, which we're still only a minute 12 to go in overtime, but that could become a huge story for the Cyclones. 2 shots for Holland. Missed the first.
Holland only 59% on the season.
It's been a tough year for DeMarcus Holland. And not just on the court, off the court as well. He missed both free throws. Those are huge. Again, a chance for Iowa State to tie the game or more. Morris now matched up with Lammert. Morris goes right by him. Morris to the basket. McKay grabs the rebound. McKay blocked.
Looked like a lot of contact in there. And McKay can't believe that he didn't get a call.
Now you see there is a difference. Shot clock, game clock, but Texas in a very good position here.
And those lay-ins are ones that usually Monte Morris finishes the first time.
Shot clock down under 10. Taylor and Morris spin. Taylor whistle. Well, they wanted that one at the end of regulation. They didn't get it. They get one here near the end of overtime.
Well, here you see the drive. The good shot up by Morris. And he gets his hand in there, I think, early.
2 free throws coming up for Isaiah Taylor. 27 points, perfect at the line. That one's huge.
Now, if you're Iowa State, whether he makes or misses with 22.4 left on the clock, you can take a layup. It's plenty of time to play the foul game.
And he misses. So now what do the Cyclones do?
You only need a wide open 3, nothing to force. Try to get to the basket first and suck into defense.
I think that's what Morris is thinking. Morris almost lost the ball, saves it inbounds. Now only 11 seconds on the clock. Now you might have to shoot a 3. Thomas, a long 3. I thought he got fouled, and he did. No, they did not call it. Well, now they're arguing at the very least the ball was tipped and out of bounds. So Steve Prohm is asking, was the ball blocked at minimum? I don't think the ball was touched. I think Matt Thomas was touched.
Well, you see eBay with the contest right there. Thomas kind of tries to kick his leg out. I think it was a good no call.
Yeah, the hand was hit after the follow through.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, I do not think he touched the ball, though. Now, they can look at this one. Now, that one made you think a little bit, that last look.
They had the right idea to start the play, but Morris just fumbled the ball in the post area, which kind of made the whole offensive sequence become discombobulated.
And obviously this is huge. That took so long, the discombobulation you're talking about. There are only 3.3 seconds left. So if Iowa State does not have possession here, the Longhorns will be firmly in command of this one. Now, let's see if we can take another look. Did that right finger? Maybe. Hey, you know, look at the pointer finger for eBay. Does it bend backwards there a little bit? Maybe.
Does the rotation on the ball change enough?
And the rotation definitely was funky. And that last look made you think that there's a chance they give this one to Iowa State. And they say it was tipped. So that's huge. And I think that last look we saw, if I were the officials, I would have made the same decision.
The last thing that Iowa State went over and shoot around today, end of game situations from the side and underneath. Watch for Nader popping out or Matt Thomas getting to the corner for a 3.
They need the 3. 3.3 seconds. Shaka Smart will burn the timeout to set up the defense. So let's revisit that thought from you. Iowa State has the ball down 3 seconds to go. What are both sides talking about?
Well, obviously for Texas, I think you're going to be doing a lot of switching on these screens. Defend the 3-point line. Obviously a 2 does not hurt you. surrender any layup. If your guy catches it underneath the rim, just let him score. Don't foul him. 5 guys defending the arc in this case. For Iowa State, trying to set the screens as best as possible and slipping someone out to the three-point line. Right now, if McKay stays in the game, you have 4 three-point shooters in Morris, Nader, and Niang and Thomas.
All right, so final 3 seconds coming before the drama here in Austin. A quick check with Chris back in the studio.
Guys, we know #1 Kansas went down. How about #3 Maryland? Down 3, just like Iowa State is now. No Melo Trimble. So that was Rashid Suleiman attempting a potential game winner. Trimble 2 points, 4 turnovers. #1 and #3 go down. #8 Miami also lost tonight.
Wow, so a night of upsets, and this one would qualify, Miles, even though this is a home game for Texas. 17th ranked Cyclones, one of the favorites in the Big 12. Top 5 team by most accounts preseason. Down 3 with 3.3 seconds to go.
Well, you can see it doesn't matter the conference. Hard to win road games.
Iowa State, after that review, they ruled that eBay tipped the ball out of bounds, so the Cyclones, that gives them a chance here. Here we go. Morris is the inbounder with big Prince eBay and his wingspan right on top of it.
And see the Texas guys sitting on top of their guys right now, meaning that they're forcing everything to the basket. You see these guys on the top side right there.
Well, Morris backs up, gives himself a little more room. Morris, Niang, 3, no good. And the horn sounds. Texas has won at home against the 17th ranked Cyclones in overtime, 94-91.
A tremendous effort, a great offensive execution tonight overall by the Texas Longhorns. Isaiah Taylor was a star, and George Niang just not enough for the Cyclones.
Niang did just about everything down the stretch, but not on this one.
Well, just not enough. The good switch, the excellent contest by Isaiah Taylor to get out. And the Cyclones dropped to 1-3 in Big 12 play.
Shaka Smart knows that's a big one for his Longhorns team. Isaiah Taylor was tremendous for Texas as they get the job done here at home and beat Iowa State. They controlled this game, had the lead most of the way, but had to go to overtime. No last-minute drama for the Cyclones. Not this time after the game winner in the Big 12 tournament last year. George Niang finishes with 27 points, 7 rebounds. He played well, but not enough for the Cyclones, who lose their 2nd game in a row here in this rugged Big 12 and fall to 1-3 in conference play. So Texas wins it 94-91 in overtime. The Harlem Globetrotters 90th anniversary special comes up next. For Miles Simon and our whole ESPN crew, I'm Dave Fleming saying so long here from Austin. Drama again in the Big 12. Texas beats Iowa State.